My name is Ben Marcus, and I am the author of a book of short stories called Leaving the Sea. The German title is An Land gehen, and I'd like to read the opening section of a story called The Dark Arts. On a dark winter morning at the Mueller House men's hostel, Julian Bledstein reached for his DOP kit. At home, he could medicate himself blindfolded, but here across the ocean it wasn't so easy. The room stank, and more than one young man was snoring. The beds in the old gymnasium were singles, which hadn't kept certain of the guests from coupling when the lights went out. Sometimes Julian could hear them going at it, fornicating as if with silencers on. He studied the sounds when he couldn't sleep, picturing the worst: animals strapped to breathing machines, children smothered under blankets. In the morning he could never tell just who had been making love. The men dressed and left for the day, avoiding eye contact, mesmerized by the glow of their cell phones. The evidence of sex failed to show on their faces. Julian held his breath and squeezed the syringe, draining untold dollars worth of questionable medicine into the flesh of his thigh. He clipped a bag holding the last of his money to the metal underside of his bed. His father's hard-earned money. Not enough euros left, not nearly enough. He'd have to make a call, pour mouth into the phone until his father's wallet spit out more bills. Under his mattress, he stashed his passport. He left the hostel and took the stone path down to nothing good. This morning he was on his way yet again to meet Haley's train. Sweet, sweet Haley. She would fail to appear today, no doubt, as she had failed to appear every day for the past 2 weeks. More and more it seemed that his lovely, explosively angry girlfriend, who only rarely seemed to loathe him, wouldn't be joining him in Germany. Even though they'd planned the trip for months, Googling deep into Julian's unemployed afternoons back home, Haley pinging him sexy links from work when she could. A food truck map, day treks along the Königsallee. First, they'd destroy England and France, lay waste to the old world, then drop into freaking Dusseldorf for the last broken leg of the journey. It was going to be a romantic medical tourist getaway, a young invalid and his lady friend sampling the experimental medicine of the Rhine. Haley promised to break bitter pieces of German chocolate over his tongue as he stared at the ceiling and wished his life away. But they'd fought in France and he'd come to Dusseldorf ahead of her. Now he waited not so hopefully, not so patiently, dragging himself between the hostel, the train station, and the internet cafe, checking vainly for messages from Haley while seeking treatment up at the clinic on the hill. Treatment, well, that might not have been the word. His was one of the doomed conditions, an allergy to his own blood. He not so scientifically thought of it. An allergy to himself was more like it. His immune system was mistaken, fighting against the home team. Or his immune system knew exactly what it was doing. These days, autoimmune diseases were the most sophisticated way to undermine yourself, to be your own worst enemy. In the States, with such pain and such striking blood work, they merely soaked you in opiates and watched the clock. They dug your hole and wrote your name in stone. Not so in Germany, a shining outpost on the medical frontier, where out of wisdom or denial or economic opportunity they tried what was forbidden or unconscionable elsewhere, and for a fee they'd try it on you, massive doses of it. You could bathe in its miracle waters. You could practically get stem cell jello shooters at the bar on Thursday nights, so long as, you waved, yes, waved it goodbye, your rights, your family, your life.